Almighty morning. Welcome in. Welcome in.
I love that music, Julie. I could just fall in love with that music.
It's nice and it's not
No, it's
a
beautiful.
very raring one. And it isn't the music of Libby, but we will discuss that later. We are just now popping up across the channels that I see. It was a very good lag time, about 30 seconds. I want to welcome in Susan and Don. Welcome in, guys.
Hello.
Fix your
And
hair,
they're
Don.
popping
You got to
in.
look presentable.
Yes, you are normal now. Or
You're
I
live,
guess
Dawn. You're live.
you're not flipped. And you're live. We're all alive. Yep. And Brenda. Yes, Brenda is in. She's
Brenda.
usually the first one in on Wednesdays. I love it. Thank you, Brenda. And Brenda has told us she is coming back next year to the
Phoenix?
Psychic Squad. So I am so excited. She's coming back to the Psychic Squad. Yes. And I know a lot of you don't know these two people. Yeah, sure. They're on lives and videos all the time. And here today, they've chosen to share with me to share their new book. It's
Which book, Don?
God's looking. Where is it? Where is it? Oh,
right.
in Espanol as well, right?
One in Spanish.
Oh, they're both
in Spanish.
There's an English version here somewhere. There we go.
Awesome.
It's like, yeah. Next time it'll be in French or even in Swedish. I'm sure that.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Do it like in Chinese.
Oh my.
Julie, I must pop out 1 second real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry,
Yeah.
so sorry about this. Okay.
And
it's okay. I can talk. Me and Julie can talk up a storm.
yes. And we've got Pam Shore in. We got Katsuni T. Hello. Brandon 3T. Wow. They're all popping in.
Hello,
Yes,
everybody.
Yeah.
Greetings.
I will be interviewing Susan by herself on the 14th. Yeah, 14th of January. So I will get the advertisement up for January later today, if not definitely tomorrow. So I hopefully you'll come in then, and
They'll probably say, "Oh no, not her again."
No.
No,
Yes, Kat. Hello, Kat. I thought it was you. When it Katsuni T, it's got to be Kat. So Kat is in, and JR6427. Please let us know your name so that we know who we're talking about. And yes, I'm interviewing them. And Susan is so chopping at the bit to read today. So we're hoping to get some reading in.
Oh yeah, I read. I love to read people.
But I want to remind you that Susan will be teaching a class tomorrow night, right?
Yes,
mediumship class tomorrow night at 1522 West Encanto Boulevard, Phoenix, Arizona.
And it's called Rising Phoenix Spiritualist Church.
Yes.
So I'm going to teach you how to communicate with your loved ones on the other side. And it's really easy.
Yeah. And for those who want to be online and get some mediumship readings, Mondays we have a class and we need sitters. So you can email myself, Susan, or Dawn, and we will definitely do that. I'm buying the book today. Yay! So please get the book. Oh, speaking of, I did this a couple days ago. There you go. There's the
oh, that's beautiful
QR code, and I only use the English version. No offense to the Spanish version. And I want to remind you because I need more
subscribers.
Because without you subscribing to Communication Connections, until I get 100 people, I cannot share. So please, please, you utilize that.
My hair's a mess again. Sorry.
She
What were
wants to
you
know
doing for that
everything.
minute?
You don't want to know. You don't.
Don't ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes,
and
Julie, I heard that little part, by the way. Folks, if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, please pop over to Julie's channel right there and do the follow. She's part of the community. She's helped building the community, and she needs support. We all need to support each other. So
Yes.
please, if you're on my social media pages, do a favor for me, other than buying my 2 books, The Mediums and
oh, we haven't talked about the other one.
of
Hold
this-
on.
anyway, but most importantly, this is big, and this will cost you nothing. This
Yeah,
costs you nothing.
yeah.
So go on here and follow
So
this.
keep that little finger busy and subscribe.
Exactly. And of course, Susan, subscribe. Oh, that one. We're absolutely okay. Whatever. Susan too.
Yes. And speaking of, I do have theirs. There we go. That's his YouTube page, and I'm only going to give you Susan's YouTube page right now. Okay. Yep. So I have them all ready to go, and they're all close, so I didn't have to go searching for them this morning.
Don't we love Julie? She's the best. She's just the best.
I know she's so prepared. I go on live, and I'm scatterbrained, so it's scattered, and I watch her, and she's like, before today, we have to have this, we have to have this, and she keeps us. She is the focus. I mean, she is the regimented
She's very
one.
organized.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, thank goodness, because I'm always watching and going, oh man, she makes it look so easy.
I don't know how you do it, Dawn. You go from here to there, everywhere. You're everywhere, like in a matter of minutes.
Yes. He told us the other day he had to take the Ghost to the vet.
Ghost is my dog, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Ghost.
She's beautiful.
Just letting people know, because we are medium, so that can get
And
taking
I
your
need
ghost.
a picture so I could pop Ghost up every once in a while when we were talking about it.
She's a beautiful dog.
That he had to get there by 4:30, and he was there with 7 minutes to spare. And how did you do that? Did you just?
He's amazing, but he
Tell
drives
me.
pretty fast too. I watch
you know.
him, and I can't. If I have to follow him, I can't keep up with him.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
ahead of me.
You know, I have powers. You know, so like Bewitched. Remember, I grew up in the '60s and '70s. So I just snapped, and I was there. I could do the nose thing, but I can't do that. Like Bewitched.
Yeah, we won't get into that. And welcome in, Bonnie. No read for me. I missed the middle hour due to reading buddies with 3rd graders. Oh, okay. Got that. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that. And oh my goodness, Kat is currently writing a book. My
Yeah.
books that I have had in my head since I was 25. So have she gotten a hold of you yet, Don?
Oh no, Kat, welcome. Reach out to me if you want some help or some direction or whatever. I have Sonoran Mystic Publishing, and so Lord knows I've been through this a few times. So you're welcome to reach out.
Don has got a reputation for helping all us authors. He helped Karen. He helped me. You know, he's great.
We help each other. We help
Yes.
each other. We are a community. Yes. As you can tell, folks, we know each other and talk quite often. That's why we're so, chatty. So
You never know what the subject is going to be.
Exactly. But folks, the one thing that that triggers with that, and it goes to this book, and that is that when you have something to say, when you think you have something to say, or you think you need to share, or if you're coming from a different point of view, then share it, because someone most likely will want to hear it, because maybe they're looking for that. And so when Susan and I, even though Julie hasn't asked yet, when Susan and I set out to do this book, we had spent an entire week, and Julie was there too, by the way. We spent an entire week in Baltimore at the ISF, International Spiritualists Federation's annual conference, and we were immersed in mediumship, and we left there on fire, and we have been doing it for some time. Susan, far longer than me. I was a resistant medium. I did not want to experience that part of my life for a period of time. And finally, and it happened, but it was like I was drugged to it. It's like, and
Well, the
so,
spirit said it's time,
well,
Dawn.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And so what happens is that we came from there, away from there, and we wanted to find more information. And the problem being, if you all have ever tried to find mediumship books, you're going to find it difficult. They're almost non-existent in regular bookstores, and then even in the metaphysical bookstores, they're a very limited number. I went to a local store here and asked my friend, who I love, I adore her. And if you're in Scottsdale, go to Missy's Mysteries. It's on Scottsdale Road and off of Scottsdale Road and Shade, the northwest corner. She even told me, she's like, I don't have many authors on that subject. And so, she said, so when I told her we're writing a book, she said, you better bring it in because I need this. It's part of the thing we don't have. So the point is that we had a voice, we had a vision, but more importantly, we had our vision. And Susan and I discussed this book extensively and hammered it out and said, look, we want to write a book, but if we do, we need to bring something new to the table. We need to come from a perspective that people haven't heard. But it was easier for us because, again, mediumship isn't that followed and published. It's not, I don't know if people are afraid of it or they can't get their head around it or whether mediums are very secret. I don't know. But Susan and I are not. And so we said, let's help. Let's help because we know how wonderful it is to do it from our perspective because it gives us this sense of I've done something to help somebody get that one last message, that one last little bit of information that gives them closure and can make them even change their perspective on the situation and know that their loved one isn't gone. They're just transformed and their energy will always be there and supportive. And the other thing we wanted to do is not just for us, but a medium. Your whole focus is not you. It's not your ego. It's the person you're reading for and the message from the spirit that you're connecting to. It is their read. It is their, we are translators. All we do is we're like the operator. Hello, can I connect you to 9? Whatever, and so you're connecting, we're connecting to people and we are the equipment for that conversation. And so our role is to present evidential information that can confirm to the person we're reading for that we have indeed connected to their spirit so they know it's not just, oh, my grandmother is here and your grandmother's here and she used to cook and she loves you very much and she wants you to know that the world is kumbaya. Well, that's not mediumship. That is, give me your dollars and I'll run away. It's not. Yeah. And what we do in this book is we present to these people that when you do mediumship, it's about the person you're reading for and that spirit. And so we give evidential information, specific information that no one would know or could know, especially if you're just sitting in front of me and I don't know you. And then after giving a few pieces of evidential information to confirm and make you comfortable to know that we truly have a connection, then we provide the message. And the message is important too, because it's not just having a spirit. Spirits don't come in and waste their time. They don't do that. We don't do that. People don't do that. We don't waste our own time. Why would they? They come in for a specific purpose. They're there for a reason. And they could be there because the reader needs something and called them in, which is most of the case. Or they're coming in because they brought the reader in because they knew the reader needed it, but the reader couldn't. And that has happened in some of my readings where the person sits down and the person's there and you're like, oh no, I brought them here because they needed to hear this. And so that's what drove us to write this book, was to make it so where you know that you too, whoever you are, can be a medium. You are a medium. You're born a medium. The equipment is here. You just have to figure out how to turn it on, how to utilize it, and then put in the safeguards that says, hey, I want to do this for the right reason and make sure I don't do harm by trying to blow my ego up and make me feel good. It's not a magic show.
Nothing to do with the ego. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, hold on. I want to go back.
Okay.
It has something to do with an ego, the ego of the spirit coming in. Dawn.
Spirit,
what about the
not the medium?
Yeah. Not the medium, not the sitter, but the spirit coming in. It's their ego. So
well, not their ego so much as their energy, because when they come in, when they present, and Susan can pick up on this one. When they present, they make sure that they present their energy in a way that we can describe it and make that person.
The sitter can identify who it is. Yes.
Yes, but sometimes they present themselves in their younger years when they thought this. That's the ego part that I see.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're healthy on the other side.
Right,
at any age they choose. Maybe they were in perfect health in their 30s and they look great. That's how they're going to present themselves. And you will still know who they are because their personality comes through and everything. And so it's a realization that we never really die. Our body dies, but we live forever.
Life beyond physical death.
Exactly.
And it's proven, and love beyond physical death too.
Exactly. And it's interesting because Julie was talking about the flip-flop, and she was cueing me on that because there is a story there. And I was Angie and I were doing a live reading, and we were at the very end of that was not a live, that was in the middle of a live reading. And I was picking up this mother who, a grandmother who came through, and she gave me some information, and the woman's like, oh yeah. And then when I told her, I said, she's showing me a flip-flop, and she's like, she's going to threaten me with the flip-flop. And she's like, she told me she used to spank you with the flip-flop. And the woman's like, oh my God, yes. And it's interesting because flip-flops are very specific to time and generations and whatever. And so I didn't even know, but again, it wasn't about me. So I gave the information. I just said what I was told, and the woman was like, oh my gosh, she's definitely there because she spanked us with the flip-flop, and she's like, and it was, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Well, and it was at the end because Angie had just finished her read. And Don says, I'm getting something. And it's cold.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Cold energy.
Yes.
And you say, Katie, I'm going to put you on hold because I'm not sure if this is for you. And then you started. And she goes, yeah, that's for me.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was Katie. And by saying her name, hopefully Katie will be in a minute or two. Because it's usually when we say their name or think about them, they pop in. So hopefully we'll see her soon. But to me, that was her ego, is she was presenting herself, but also having that flip-flop that just got me so much.
Yeah. And sometimes the evidence can come in differently. Can come in like, I'm listening, I hear a song, and the sitter's sitting there, oh my gosh, that's a song that my mother always sang to me. Or it could be, it could be smells, or, it could be any one of our senses that come through that help you identify who the spirit is.
Explain that, Susan. We call them the clairs. Explain the clairs to folks so they understand what we're talking about.
The clairs is a French word for clear, C-L-E-A-R, which means like you're dealing with your senses. So there's clairvoyance. Like when I do mediumship, I usually use clairvoyance. I see pictures in my head, and sometimes it could be the smells or taste or hearing. You hear something that I hear railroad tracks. Do you have somebody there's a gentleman here, and he said he worked on the train, something like that. So the senses come through, and everybody's a little different, and everybody does mediumship a little differently. If you watch different mediums, they all have their own unique style. And so when you read our book and everything, you'll realize that you can develop your own style and, get the messages across in your own way. But the whole thing is you're connecting with the other side. You're connecting through your guides, your angels, your loved ones, getting messages from the spirit that's coming through. And it's very unique. There's unique things about each one of us that we can identify. So when you're doing a mediumship reading and you're saying, I have a person that comes through, and like one time I did, I had this old guy come through, and it was this guy's grandfather, and he lived like out in the woods in a log cabin, and he had a glass eye, and he had a leg that had been amputated and everything. And I mean, I'm not, you can't make this stuff up. So somebody's going to say, yeah, that's definitely my grandfather. How many people have a glass eye and have amputated leg, from the war?
And if you're not getting this stuff, whether it's seeing, feeling, hearing yet, doesn't mean you can't. Again, this will help. And I really like the different chapters in here, because, I mean, I kind of summarized. I did read more, and Don, I have one more correction for you. I want to tell you that before, so that when we get off, I can remind you of that.
Isn't
Anyway,
it nice to know you're human, Dawn? You're not
yes.
perfect, but you're close
Well,
to.
it wasn't a misspelled word. It is a word. It's just not the right word. Anyway, chapter 9, care and clarity. I love that. Chapter 12 was even more specific for me, was theta. I had been practicing theta and didn't realize certain things. But another thing you said, and Kat had also alluded to, is um, when you know, or I thought it was knowing, but it was actually, I was hearing music in my head. I didn't think it was clairaudience. I thought it was knowing, but it's actually clairaudience.
Justin.
And you guys have mentioned it. When you get songs, lyrics, and other words in your head, that's clairaudience. And I didn't realize I was practicing that as long as I have. But thank you guys for pointing that out. And Don, there are a few mediumship books, but they're mainly on what is it, audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot easier to have a book in hand to learn mediumship than it is listening to it.
Yeah, but when you go to find them, it's because Susan and when we set out to do the book, we didn't just want to talk about what we knew in our experiences, but we wanted to actually do the research and see what is out there. And that's the problem. Again, I didn't start to do the book, nor did Susan, until we realized it was such a desert of information.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of the books, they talk about somebody's biography, and then half the book is testimonials,
Okay.
medium, but there's not too much as far as books that actually help you do it, help you know about it and understand it so you can do it.
Yeah, it was so anyway, that's the thing, is that we wanted to make it accessible, and the ebook is being done as we speak, by the way. I've already ordered it. So there will be an ebook, so where should somebody be used to the new technology and saying, okay, this is how I read, that's great. But for Susan and I, it's definitely the tactile. We love the feeling of a book, and this book is different. And it's interesting, if you've read Susan's book, Susan has another book, by the way, and that book is...
Hold on. I got it. I also have it. There it is.
Love Your Spiritual Gifts. Yes. And so that book, Susan had a different energy, a different vision, and a very different voice for that book, because it called for something a little different. And you notice the book shape and everything is very different than this book. And I've written a book which is called The Ultimate Power Within. And it actually is for me, it was very tactile. That's why I came to my point. Because this one has a matte finish. Thank you. It has a matte finish.
This is a show me program.
Exactly. And so when you touch
I'm from Missouri, people. I'm from Missouri. What can
exactly. So you feel the energy, you feel the difference with the book. This book, we wanted to be different from those because, first of all, it's both of our voices, and it comes together as both of us when we speak. But more importantly, it's a book about something we love and dearly love. And The Ultimate Power Within was written based on my argument that affirmations are not your grandma's affirmations. And you have to understand the power that affirmations bring and how, if you use them properly, they can change everything. Susan's, her development book, which is what I call it, it's your metaphysical development superstore. You go to Susan's book and you don't have, just like going to Costco and you'll find everything, because in her book, it has all the various skills of metaphysical. So if you want to learn how to do tarot, to just get the basis of tarot, you'll find it there. The mediumship, you'll find it there, except this is more intense, of course. But anyway, not, anyway. And then, of course, all the other things. So Susan's first book was a venture into, hey, are you curious? Dabble your toe in there. I'm going to give you a little bit about it, a lot. And then once you do, if you want something more, then let's get deeper. And that's how this evolution came as well, because it was like, okay, let's take it a step further. And in the book, you will find some of Susan's information from her other book, because it led perfectly to this book. Not so much my affirmations book, because my affirmations book was very well done. But
this book that we just did, Dawn, I mean, the pictures, Dawn picked out like hundreds of pictures. And we went through them together, and we tried to get.
Didn't pick them up. I created them, by the way.
Created.
Yes.
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh.
I mean, we tried to create books that would kind of relate to each chapter. And it was just so much fun. We had such a good time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this book actually came together very easily for us, because again, we're mediums. That kind of helps, I think, when you write a book about mediumship. And we have many experiences which came to bear on the way in which we delivered the message and how we helped people to understand. That was important. And then since we loved it so much, since we were not only mediums, we love mediumship, it was easy to just flow and let it go, which was wonderful. I will tell you, no matter what, I am very biased. And I will tell you clearly that there is one chapter that I wrote the very most of it. I'll put it that way. And it is my favorite chapter, and only because I experienced the story.
And which story was that?
That was at the airport.
Yes, that was chapter 1. It's chapter 1. There you go. And this image is a little deceiving, folks, because Susan and I talked about it, and we needed to convey the message by creating an image that would tell the message. But at the same time, and when this situation happened, the woman that was there with her daughter was as solid as her daughter. And the original image I created was a solid woman. And Susan and I talked about it, and our spouses talked about it with us and said, there's something missing. It really doesn't convey what you're trying to get across. And so we altered this image. I had this image already, then I altered it and made the woman a shadow, in essence, or a spirit. And so this to me is the way we start our book, by the way. And it's this story of this experience. So you understand how powerful, the thing was, it was a way to understand how powerful mediumship can be and what it can do for folks who embrace it. And so when you get the book, I hope that chapter 1 inspires you to fly through the book, because you will appreciate the experience that came from this. And this is an actual situation, by the way. I guess I'm putting the wrong, this.
Yeah.
It's an actual situation. That mirror thing's got me messed up. This is an actual situation. Exactly, Susan. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, this is an actual situation that happened to me at the Denver airport many, many months ago, even maybe last year, I forget. And actually it happened, blew me away, to the point where I had to go out on the patio on Terminal A of the airport and record it live, my reaction, and post it immediately, because it was such a moving experience. Yeah. And so in the book, we talk about these experiences. We talk about the various things that we've experienced, short based on us, long based on information you need to hear to understand the process.
Okay. And I put up the YouTube, so you can go to his channel, check out his videos, because that video is there, along with the video for the flip-flop. I'm just saying.
Yes, the flip-flop is there. Yes, it is. Yep. Yes. Now I think the video for the airport is under shorts. It's under the shorts, because it's a 3 minutes and it's done this way, because it was on the phone. Where the flip-flop video is about 7 minutes long and is under the regular videos. Yeah.
But as you read this book, you'll realize that you too have had experiences like this. Maybe you needed to, say, "Oh, I'm not going to believe this," and then it happens.
Yeah.
And we all have these experiences, and you can either work with them and develop them, or you can just say, I'm not going there." But you have that choice.
And I'm not trying to make anybody dizzy, but I wanted to get that up there so that you can go to uh, Sonoran Mystic Tarot YouTube channel and see that, because he has a lot of videos up there that will help anyone.
He's a very busy person.
Yes.
Yeah. And the good thing too is that with this book, going back to the book, with this book, it does one more thing. And it's interesting because it helps you to understand that there is more going around you than you think. We walk around, generally speaking, we walk around, even if we feel we are cognizant and aware of what's going on around us, we're not to that extent. And so we turn off. It's like we'll turn off our senses of feeling a wisp of a wind, because we're like, oh, I don't want to feel. Your body just says, hey, it's I don't need to process that. It's the same feeling I get all the time, so I don't need to process it. And so you don't really work through it, right? Or you'll get information, or you'll hear certain noises. You hear them so often that you're like, I don't need to hear it anymore. And your body then, it becomes white noise, and your body actually turns it off for you. Or your nose blind. You walk into someone's house. They go in their house all the time. They can't smell their own house anymore because that's their nose blindness. That's my smell. So I don't even smell it. I don't react to the scent, and therefore it doesn't register. However, it's there. And yet somebody else walks into your house and you have 45 million cats and 27,000 dogs, and they're like, oh my goodness, because you are used to it, you've turned it off. And that's what your senses that Susan talked about with your clairs, that's what happens with your clairs. Is often as a child, you may have an imaginary friend. If you're like, oh, you're going crazy, or that's crazy talk, don't do that, and this, whatever. Or they'll tell you, oh, this doesn't matter, or that doesn't mean anything. And what the book says is reverse that. Take the society's little admonitions of, don't do that, and now do it. And open up and say, wow, I'm feeling something now. And this is how mediums, we live in the nuance. We live in that nuanced space where a brush of a wind or a brush of a spirit comes across. For me specifically, the strongest indication that I get, and you'll see it in the chancleta video, the flip-flop video, is when an older female spirit comes through, and sometimes the younger spirits too, but again, I freeze. I really get cold. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know a spirit's here. I don't have to even think about it, because my spirit R comes through, and it's like spirit R's radar for spirit. My spirit R comes through, and it's like ding, 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 a spirit is here. And all I have to do is look around and say, okay, who doesn't belong? who is not really here?
Who's sending me a cold chill?
Exactly. And
oftentimes our spirits come through in our dreams. We'll dream of our loved ones on the other side, and sometimes they come through just to say hi, and sometimes there's a message, sometimes there isn't. But during the day, all these things happen. You see a name on a truck, and it reminds you of somebody. You hear a song, you see feathers on the ground, you see coins on the ground, you see little butterflies and hummingbirds, and they remind you of, all of a sudden you find yourself thinking of a person that's on the other side. It's because that's their way of conveying to you they're around you, they love you, they're thinking of you, and so you think of them. Just sometimes it's just a thought of somebody, and think, wow, but they are there, they're around you, and they care, and they want you to communicate. That's why we wrote the book, how to communicate to them, how to talk to them.
And more often than not, once you're aware of those feelings, those connections, spirit reaching out to you, once you're aware, then you're like, oh my gosh, that explains. And we hear that often. Oh, that explains. That explains why I smell, when I'm sad or whatever, I smell that cigar fragrant, that smell, that cigar that my father used to use and I hated. And I'm like, yeah, because that was the strongest thing for him to let you know. So he comes with that to let you know, because that's the one thing you'll register. You may not register some of the other things, but you'll register that. Or sometimes it's again a song, because you hear them singing a song or a song. They come to you in ways that help you to trigger. But often we're like, oh, that's just a good whatever. No, they're there. And often when people start thinking back, they're like, I was in a really bad place, and I felt my mom's hug. I was like, oh, I just must be generous. No, you're not dreaming it. It is the hug. It's because you opened yourself up to feeling it. And again, it's certain things that we had a woman one time who her husband would always brush her hair, and it always reminds me of Streisand in the way we were at when she did Hubble's hair. The same deal. This woman did that, and she said she picked it up from that show. That's how she did it. And so we were talking. I'm like, he's showing me the hair like Hubble, and you doing this? And she's like, yes, I always did that. We would be in bed, and I would look over, and I would do that. And she said, and it just always was our thing. And she said, as soon as you said that, and you connected it to the movie, that's exactly how we created that situation in our life, because we saw that movie and he always had the hair, and I started doing that,
And sometimes, how often do you hear somebody calling your name and that sounds like my mother, but my mother's not here. There's nobody here.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you, out of the corner of your eye, you'll see your cat run down the hallway, or you feel a cat on your bed or a dog, and they're not there.
Yes.
This spirit is. So this is their way to let you know, hey, don't forget about me. I'm around you.
And let's go one more step if we can, Susan and Julie. And that is that let's take the step of let's get the fear out of there. Because sometimes you're like, okay, if I become a medium, then I'm going to always be turned on. And I'm always going to now get messages, and I don't want messages, and I'll get the messages I don't want. And let's allay your fear on that one. That's not the way it works. And I totally appreciate the Hollywood medium and the Long Island medium and the go do yourself medium and whatever. But, the point is everybody out there does it differently. I totally understand that. But when you have the gift, you can turn it on and turn it off when it needs to be turned on and turned off. And we explain that process is very simple, because the connection you have with your spirit team, and I say spirit team, in the book we discuss who are the energies on the other side that come through, who communicates with us. And so it's not just the loved ones who've crossed over. And these people, by the way, they don't have to even be the loved ones that you knew here. They could be loved ones from a different lifetime. They could be people whom you touched in this world, that for them, the experience was very much life-changing. But for you, it may have been just a blip because you lived a longer life, but they didn't. And so it's their perspective of you, how they want to be part of your life to help you because of whatever you had done. So it's loved ones, it's people who want to support you. It could be people from your previous families. It can and often is angels and your angels and different levels of angels stepping in to help you. And most importantly, you have those folks coming in and out. Let me repeat this. They're coming in and out of your life. They don't stay there all the time. They come in when you need them. They sense when you need them, and they come rushing in. And when you no longer need them for that experience, then they leave. And they're even called specialty guides, by the way, who come in for needs like accounting or writing or reading or dealing with an issue. They'll come in because they know that skill better. Now, they may not be your loved ones, but they know how to do this for you, and they help you. And they're for that. Now, the one guide who is with you from cradle to grave, 24/7 is your gatekeeper. And this topic is something that people call them different things, and some people don't even deal with them, but I do, because I know mine. Her name is Emily, and she and I have had a great relationship. And your gatekeeper is your protector. And that's why I tell you, you can feel comfortable to turn it off and be safe and not have to deal with it when you don't want to. And Emily is mine. And when you have a gatekeeper, your gatekeeper is just that. They say you live in your little house, and your house is wonderful, and you're on your porch, and you're having some company come over. We're in the South here, so we're sitting in our rocking chairs, and we're just having a company come over for some mint juleps on the court porch. And then you tell Emily, I don't want any more company, and she shuts those gates. and my fortress, my house becomes a fortress now, and the energies don't come through. Now I've just kind of played with it, but that's really how it works. Your gatekeeper opens up and closes access to any energies around you. So when you are not ready, you're not wanting energies, you say, hey, Emily or gatekeeper, and you don't have to, the names are not important, by the way. I needed it because I was having issues with names and I needed to overcome that hurdle. So it was so important that I kept going and going, and eventually she did. But the point is your gatekeeper will control that access, and you tell them, I'm not open. Turn it off for now. And they'll shut that door, and you will not get spirit energy unless you have a defined group of people whom you say those people can come through all the time. And for me, it's my dad, and it's a dear friend of ours who the other book I wrote about is in the book. There's a few people who can come through because my gatekeeper knows that. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that you'll be overwhelmed. Don't be afraid that you can't turn it on and off, because you can. And we teach you, again, how to do that in this amazing book in English and in Spanish. So if Spanish is your main language, and guess what? Books in Spanish on mediumship, even fewer than books in English. So
Yes.
hello.
And we also open your mind up to the fact that it's not just, the spirit guides. We also have a lot of angels. How many times have you lost something and you say, okay, angels, help me find this? And all of a sudden it appears. You find what you need. But they're around us too.
And
we
Julie,
have
how did that
help on the other side.
Right.
Susan and Julie, how does that work in live situations such as last night? Keys.
Yeah, we helped Angie find some keys.
Yes, the keys.
Yeah.
Yes. And the community together. But I would have to admit that Harley was closest to everyone to finding it.
Yep.
And she was talking to Angie, and Angie said, yeah, I kind of remember being in a theater at a museum, and and Harley said, call them now. And when she did, Angie called. The guy said, describe them. He says, they're right here. So
isn't that funny? That's great.
So
But
we
have all this
give
help.
you real world examples. There's one right there. That again, your spirit team is there with you. They will support you. And Harley, I don't know how other people call them, but your gatekeeper is not an angel. In my understanding, and with Emily was never an angel. She actually lived on this earth at one time. I call her my church mouse because she's this little church mouse lady. She's amazing. I love her because she reminds me of my grandmother Rumer to a degree, but not. I mean, I know the difference for sure. She just this like little church mouse lady. And the one vision I get is like Harry Potter at the end when these dementors come through and they want to zap them in this cave thing. And the lady comes around and she comes through. That's how I see Emily. She's kind of like that person. She's just kind of tottering away. So for me, Emily was never an angel. She's not an angel. She's not one of the archangels or regular angels. And she has been on this earth before. And her role when she came back was to be here. Now she did not have a relationship with me otherwise. She's never been in my other worlds. She's never been. And so I am blessed to have her, but we never worked together previously, nor is she an angel. And she's very clear about that. She's like, don't put me on that pedestal, because those angels are a very different level and a very different
But
group.
we do explain all the different entities around that will have with your mediumship too.
Yeah. And remember,
you
this
have
is
to ask.
This is our interpretation, because remember, everybody interprets it differently. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm talking lived experiences, and Susan talks her lived experience of what we see, what we learn, what we understand. And so again, everybody has their own, and somebody may have an angel 24/7 as their gatekeeper. However, remember, your gatekeeper is with you all the time. And so if they're with you all the time, my argument would be, how could they be with somebody else? And angels tend to be helping so many.
And everybody has a guardian angel too that they came in with.
Absolutely.
Right. There for you your entire life.
Yeah.
So. But they also have others to work with too. You're not the only one assigned to them.
Right. And that's what the gatekeeper is solely on you, nobody else.
Exactly.
So that's the very big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then
yes.
And then when we close out the book, we included, this was important to Susan, very important to Susan, and I supported it 122%, because we wanted to introduce other mediums. This is not a book just about us. It's not a book about us at all. This was a book about mediumship. But we wanted to make sure that we talked initially about where mediumship comes from. So that's in the book, and the evolution of mediumship. And when we got to the evolution, we realized, oh my gosh, there could be so much that we could put you to sleep. And we didn't want to put you to sleep, because that's not what the book, this is not a meditation. This is a book. So what we did is at the end of the book, Susan and I sat down, did a lot of research on quotes, wonderful quotes from great mediums and good people, wonderful people who tangentially may have touched mediumship or the life after.
Life, death.
Exactly. And we put those in the book, and they're at the very end of the book. And it is full of wonderful quotes from various luminaries. And they're broken down in, again, like Susan was saying, in the way that they're directed. And so it's about life or death or the in-between or angels or whatever. And so there is about 4 pages of amazing quotes. And so if you're ever looking if you're going to give a talk someplace, or if you want to go to a party and you want a nice quip, go to our book, go to the back, and find a really nice quote from there, because all of those quotes can be used anywhere. You don't have to worry about people looking at you like, are you crazy? It's not metaphysical specific quotes. They're quotes about life, death, the life hereafter, and those things. And
down through ages. I mean, they weren't just quoted 10 years ago. They were down.
Well, and Gandhi, I think Gandhi's in this, right? We have Gandhi. I'm almost certain Gandhi is one of the quotes even.
Yes. And I do want to remind you, it's chapter 21 that these quotes are in. Mm-hmm. Because there is a chapter 22, stepping fully into the light. So that's the closing. So it's chapter 21. And I hit one this morning, and it's like, I loved it. Now, of course, I can't find it. Teresa Caputo is in here. A lot of them.
Helen Keller,
that's the one that I saw this morning, and I loved it. And I was going to put that on. What we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. Yep. That is Helen Keller.
And I like Rumi too. Rumi says, to live in hearts we leave behind is not to die.
Yeah. That's a wonderful quote. Yeah. So
we get a little emotional reading this book.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we wanted to make sure that we gave acknowledgement to those who've come before us, who've written stuff before us. We even talk in the book when we found when we found something that really should not be disturbed, we actually quoted it and gave recognition to who said it. Gordon Smith pops up in the book. He's a great medium. There's so many great mediums. So but there's current mediums as well as people who have gone before us. So we're also understanding time and place, and so we include those. But again, when somebody does something great, you don't have to redo it. You just include them in what you're doing with your works. And so you'll see we have other mediums throughout the book that we talk about and have given them acknowledgement for their wonderful work. Susan and I, and Julie, actually, all three of us have worked with a gentleman named Darren Britton, and he is out of England. And he is wonderful as a medium. And he comes a whole fresh new perspective, which is wonderful. And when you have an opportunity to meet and learn from this gentleman, you walk away and you're like, I'm taking a new perspective. He always brings something new to the table. And no matter how many times you've met with him and communicated with him, he's always bringing something new. So we have current mediums, we have past mediums in the book, but know that it is a continuously evolving field. And we're going to stay on the front line. And should things evolve further, don't be surprised if you get a second and third edition, because we will modify the book and add to it if time comes and we find it is necessary. So this is going to be a living and breathing document. It's not going to be just a one and done situation. So
and the book was written for all of you, and we could not have done it without all of you. and all the people that, I know we got a lot of help from the other side, whether it be our angels, our guides, whatever, our loved ones. But we also got a lot of help, studying other mediums and everything. And
Yes.
you're all part of this. This couldn't be a book without you. You're all important.
Exactly.
And it is very appropriate that you were inspired, both of you were inspired at ISF in Baltimore.
Great. It's great.
Because the mindset there, the mediumship there was out of this world. I mean, each one of the mediums that did platform mediumship were different. There were a couple that were alike. They used sort of the same message, or sort of the same method, I should say. But they were all different. They were all unique. And
Absolutely.
learning from these unique people, even those in Psychic Squad, because there's so many different ways of seeing things and feeling all of the clairs. And everybody has different skill levels. Now, Susan has been doing this and I know you use the 40 plus. We know you're only 41, but just kidding.
Right.
But Dawn, I know your story of mediumship. You kept saying, I'm not a medium. And Tina Escoto, Monday night class, everything just rocks. She's the reason why we're all together.
Yes. That's how we all met. Yeah.
She was always after Don. Stop saying that. The minute he stops saying that, he's doing this.
Exactly. But Julie, can you explain, you mentioned the word platform. Can you explain to folks what you mean when you say platform mediumship so they have an understanding? Because that's a term of art, I think, for us.
Yes. So you're talking about chapter 17, platform mediumship. Yes, I did study the book a little bit. And that is when a person gets on, and I'm just going to say it in a simple way because this is what I've experienced. I haven't been to many platform mediumships, but this one, Susan was the first one I experienced. But in Baltimore, they had a stage. People were on Zoom. That doesn't always happen when you do platform mediumship, but they have people in the audience.
And live.
And live audience in the auditorium. And when, like I said, it's all done differently, but when they get a spirit come in, they go to whomever it was. Now, I get teary-eyed because it was so amazing for me. I got Susan did my first mediumship platform read. But this was Richard. And Richard is a great guy. I think he's the vice president of the ISF. And I was sitting next to Scott, my partner on Fridays, and he came to me he came to Scott and he says, the person sitting next to you, Scott was not happy. But my mother and father both came in. But they weren't the only ones coming in. And they had messages for me. But the ultimate that came in was a horse. And her name was Maggie May. He didn't get into that, but I knew who he was talking about. It took a couple questions, but I knew exactly which horse he was talking about. And that she taught me a lot. And yes, she did. But he was so cute walking around, and he kept kicking his foot up like he was a horse. And it was
the whole evening that continued. Yes.
That continued. And not just that evening.
Oh, that's right. It was throughout the rest of the conference.
And everybody picked it up. Darren picked it up. Others picked it up where they're kicking like a horse. And it was just so cute. And no, I'm not saying that bucking. I'm just one hoof up. And yeah, it really lightened up the entire week. And yeah, So it was great.
And you know, you guys, if you want to go somewhere and learn, you can go to Lilydale, which is in upstate New York, or you go to Arthur Findlay, which is in England, Stansted, England. You know, if you want to further, if you read this book and you get so excited and you want to further, you can either take classes with us, or you can go to England or New York.
What about later today? At noon today?
At noon today, Darren Britton is going to be on with questions and answers, and you have to register through Facebook. Just look up Darren Britton, DARREN BRITTAIN, and he's an incredible medium. Yeah, but you know, it's
So that's for
wonderful.
questions and answers, and
You
that's
guys all have
today.
gifts. You have all this gift, and you have to just learn how to use it.
Yep. Now I want to go back to that because you talk about the gift. However, we were told, and you do have it in your book, but I know that we all have access to mediumship. We just need to practice it. But you state in the book, all psychics are mediums, but not all mediums are psychics.
Yeah, because psychics work on a level where when they do a reading for you, they deal with your energy. They're dealing with your aura. They can tell you a little bit about your past, a little bit about your present, possibly your future. Whereas a medium is also a psychic, but you know, a psychic can't necessarily become a medium unless they
Right.
study and work with it.
Yes.
But mediums have to be psychic. But the main difference is the mediums deal with bringing in spirit messages from the other side. That's totally different than just being psychic and talk about everyday stuff. And that's it takes some work and practice, lots of practice, and to develop this. But it's
And
worth it.
there's a different energy once you start doing mediumship. There's a different level of energy that comes with a mediumship read versus a psychic read. When you get a psychic hit or a psychic read, again, you're in their auric field, which is a localized energy. And so you feel it, but you know, it's like, okay, I'm not in the moment. I wasn't there when it was created. It's just something that I'm allowed to see. So it's like tapping into something. When you do mediumship, they give you the experience. So you're in the moment with them because they need you to be able to understand the full extent of it. So like I'll say, okay, if it was a psychic read, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a big Chevy Blazer. And so at one time you owned a Chevy Blazer. Well, that's a psychic hit because I was given the vision of a psychic blazer. I mean, as a blazer through a psychic hit. And it's like, whatever, it's an image. But in a mediumship situation, you may see a father who loved the blazer because that's where he took his family on trips with. And so then he's showing you all the family trips used to be in a blazer. So he's showing me a Chevy Blazer. And the reason why the blazer is important is because he's explaining to me that that's where the family would spend time when they took these long road trips. Does this resonate with you? And they're like, oh, the energy level when that blazer comes through as an experience, because that's the thing is you get messages as an experience as a medium where they're just a something. It's a very, and so the energy is stronger. And when and like we said, for me, I get hot usually when it's anything other than a woman of specific years and up, and then cold when they come through. So I know physically I'm blessed in the sense that I get that immediate response. I'm like, okay, who's here? Speak up. Come on, get out of the corner. Come on over. Let's have a conversation.
But also in the mediumship, you are strictly a vehicle. You are a channel for the other side. You are going through your guides, your angels, whoever, and you are connecting with that spirit. They are coming down through, and you receive the messages that way. But you haven't, you are just the messenger.
Yep.
And
the translator, the operator.
Right.
Yeah. But to be clear, sorry, Julie, let me be clear, because Susan said one thing, but I don't want you to misunderstood what she was implying, okay? Because in the metaphysical field, we have a thing called channeling. Susan wasn't talking about channeling, because channeling is when you pretty much surrender your body and allow a spirit to come into your body.
Right.
This is not what happens with mediumship, and that's not what she was saying or even implying. She's saying as a conduit or as a channel, in the sense she was using it as a conduit. So the message comes through, but nothing comes in your body. Spirits do not come in your body.
Right.
You do not
You
surrender
are in
your
control
body.
of your body. Right.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that, because I could see some people saying, "Oh, well, channeling is not mediumship." Well, you're right, and that's not what she said. So I know what she said, because we've written this book together for a long time, and we know each other when we say it's
You
like,
can
okay,
read my mind.
exactly. So no, channeling is a very different thing, and this book has
Right,
nothing to do with channeling. It is a different.
You're simply relaying the message.
Yep. And conveying it in a way in which we give evidence that it's specific to you, not that it's just general. Again, when a good medium, and I'm not just saying one of us, when you have a mediumship read, if your medium is giving you these very general things, then there's a reason to question. And we're all going to have questions. We all question no matter what. When I sit in front of anybody, I'm like, I still have some questions like, is this really real? Until they give me something where I know, oh, you could not have known that. And I'll give you an example. When a woman and her husband sat down in front of me, one of the most strongest readings I've ever had, up until the airport. The airport just was like, it just shook me in a different way. But when I was at an event, and somebody else who I know very well, and he can do readings for psychic readings, and he sent this couple to me, and I didn't understand why, nor is it my place to question why. I just said, okay, no problem. And they sit down in front of me, and I'm asking what I do, and I told them psychic readings or whatever. And as I'm sitting there, I look up, and beside the woman is a young 12, 13-year-old boy. Now, for me, he's as clear as these two. I'm looking at Julie, I'm looking at Susan. The boy was standing there, but he did not come with them, because he wasn't there when they sat down. And at that point, the heat started, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's letting me know he's there. And we had an amazing read. And that's why they had come, because they had lost him 3 months prior. And they wanted to tap the spirit and they needed closure. Okay. And so when he came through, it was very clear he was there. And we had that conversation, and I relayed to them specific data that I couldn't. First of all, how would I have known when somebody sits down in front of me, you lost a child who's 12 or 13 years old? Yeah. And then how could I have told them about the artwork? Because the father asked me about the artwork, and I told him specifically about the artwork, because I'm the one who introduced it. I said he was an artist, and they're like, okay, which was whatever. And all the different things that came through in that reading were, again, evidential information. So when you sit down for a mediumship read, especially a mediumship read, make sure that you are open-minded, give your medium a chance, but also there should be some expectations. And we talk about that in an amazing book. We talk about expectations of what you should get from a mediumship read. You should get a few pieces of specific and identifiable information, data that you would not just generally know by whatever. And then once you are comfortable that you've gotten that data and know that they are truly connected, then be prepared for a message. If any of that fails along the way, don't be upset, but understand that maybe your medium didn't do all they needed to do, or that maybe you need another medium. And I'm not going to disparage any mediums, but again, there are a lot of folks who have various ways, and some people, there's no certification to be a medium. And so
a good medium is going to come through with strong evidence of who that spirit is. Plus, they're going to give you a message. They're going to give you a message of why they came through.
Yes.
And I don't want to talk about the sitters or the people where mediums are reading either. You're talking about mediums right now, which is great. I do want to talk about page 60. You mentioned, and I don't know who wrote this, that's not the question, one spirit at a time. Now, after going to Baltimore, you guys came back, asked for a couple of spirits to come in. like I said, when it came to Richard reading me, my mother and father were there, and they were back together again. They had been divorced for many years, people, but they were back together again, which is great. But get more than one in, ask for more than one. Sometimes, like on Monday's practice, there's a whole slew of them out there. And it's like, okay, somebody needs to step up because you guys are there, but who wants to talk?
Well, that's the thing is, Julie, is in that
Right.
statement was the statement was made in the sense of when you're reading someone, you're going to process one spirit at a time. So like when Richard was dealing with your, I think it was your mother came father, or was it vice versa,
Yeah,
right?
mother first.
When your mother came in, he was dealing with mom and having the conversation with mom, and then dad was accompanying mom, but remember, mom came in, dad accompanied mom, and then he dealt with dad as well. But again, it was usually the one spirit comes in, but as a medium, we try to bring in, we call and say, hey, whoever wants to come in, and then just form a line, and we can work down the process. But usually you're not going to jump from spirit to spirit to spirit to spirit to spirit to spirit back and forth. That would not work. And not only that, in platform mediumship, which is what we talked about, which is where you're standing in front of a group and you're picking up an energy and you're coming to an individual. In platform mediumship specifically, you're coming to one individual and you don't want to confuse them or the audience by saying, oh, your mom's giving me this and your dad says this, and by the way, your cousin's over here and he's saying this, because that doesn't help anybody. And more importantly, it dilutes the message. So what it means when we say that is process and work through the one energy. And when that peters out, in other words, when you're kind of like, okay, we've exhausted that, or you're like, okay, you understand now that I do have them here. I've given you every piece. And they're like, oh yeah, no, I get it. That's who's here. Yep. And then you can go, okay, this is their message. And then you can say, oh, by the way, this person's here and whatever. But the point, so when I say that, it's definitely one dealing or processing one at a time to ensure the message doesn't get diluted. And more importantly, when you're doing platform mediumship, the one thing that's very different about platform mediumship that we talk about in the book, again, is that when you're doing platform mediumship, unlike one-on-one mediumship, when I'm doing one-on-one mediumship, like if I'm reading for Julie, and I've read for Julie, and we've had mediumships before, when you do this, I'm reading solely for her, and I don't have to care who is around me, whether they're paying attention, if they're lost, if they're involved, whatever, because that's not part of the process. However, when you're doing platform mediumship, I'm reading for Julie because she's the energy I'm picking up, but she's one of 100. And so the other 99 are in the experience with me and Julie. And so it's not an isolated event. And so I have to make sure that I'm giving enough response and enough process time so where they're involved in the moment and they're buying into, I want to be watching this in hopes that maybe I will get a reading eventually while this platform mediumship lasts, because it takes about an hour to 2 hours. And during that time, whoever you're drawn to, you're going to go to that person and this person down the line. But you have to talk to everybody. You're talking to everybody in a platform mediumship, even when you're talking to one person. So
because sometimes even a simple message could apply to everybody. It's something everybody has to hear at that time.
Or can benefit from hearing it. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's why we go live and do, whether it's psychic, intuitive, or mediumship hits, we go live to help you guys out, and we do one at a time.
But we pick. But and that's a good question point too. If you watch Susan's show and if you watch Julie's show, you watch my shows, we do it differently. Right here, you're seeing 3 different people. Julie will have a list, or Susan sometimes will have a list, and Susan runs through the list. She does the reading and she moves on. She doesn't need to get feedback. She's like, this is what I'm getting. You need to hear this and move on. Julie works with feedback and has a list because of how people came in or whatever. And for me and Angie, and we come on Wednesday nights and we do lives on Wednesday nights or on Thursday mornings. And again, Sonoran Mystic Tarot, by the way, that's my thing. We do Wednesday nights and Thursday mornings. And when we come on, we don't do a list. We do it differently. We do where we're drawn we do a gallery, what they call gallery or platform, because we go to whoever energies we're drawn to. So we're drawn, if Angie's drawn to this person, we're going to that person. If I'm drawn to this person, we're going to that person. And we give that person the read, and they get the feedback, which is good. But again, we are the prime example that there's no one set way to do this. You have to find your rhythm, your way, and then you do that. And as you're comfortable as a medium, you are better as a medium because it is your space, because you created your space.
And the one thing that's very important, you are giving a message to these people to help heal them. Because they're hurting their loved ones on the other side, or maybe they passed in very difficult circumstances, but you are letting them know that, hey, yes, your loved ones on the other side, and they're right around you, and they've never left you, and they never will. They're just not here in the physical, but they're in a better place.
Yeah. And even the platform mediumship, when you're doing a presentation of a platform mediumship, there are mediums such as Robert, isn't Robert, right? The guy who read you, Julie, what was his name? Richard. Yeah. Richard will come to an individual and he said, I'm getting for you. And he will go to the individual out of 100.
Yep.
John Edwards and Darren Britton, they don't. They're like, I'm picking up this energy. I'm getting this. This is what I'm getting. Does this resonate? And then maybe 3 or 4 people say, oh, that resonates with me. And then he'll continue. And like with Darren's like, can you say hello to me? Can you say something to me? And he'll hear in the voice, he's like, nope, you're not the one. And you're not the one. That's how because he can pick up the energy based on your voice. Because he's like, no, that's not that's not the imprinted image I'm getting from this individual. And then John Edwards is like, I'm picking this up. And then he's like, okay, here. And he's like, does this resonate with you? And they're like, yeah, it does. And he talks a little bit more. He says, okay, let's go back 2 behind you, because actually the energy is more there. And he's drawn to the energy as he nails it down that way. Again, every medium is different. When Susan reads for you, Susan comes to you specifically, and she loves it, because if you're in person, you definitely love the experience, because Susan brings she walks up to you and she stands real close to you, and it becomes very personal. Even when you're in a group of 30 people, it's just you and Susan. And when she's reading for you, like,
yeah,
you're like, oh, I love
so
it because she brings the energy. And so when you watch her from a distance, if you have this ability to understand energy, you see this kind of like cocoon go around her and that person, and you can see how their shared energy is working, and then that light's coming from above because that energy is coming in, and you're like, oh man. And the good part is, if you're a good medium, and we discuss that in this book, how you can watch another medium, and if you've learned, like Susan and I have done, and Julie is learning as well, to connect into that energy, you can be part of that experience. You can watch and understand what they're talking about, because you're like, oh gosh, now I'm getting her energy. I see what she's seeing. I know what she's talking about. And you're like, oh, this is a shared experience. So it can be, for a medium to watch another medium, can be so wonderful when that medium is when the medium who's giving the read is so giving of their time and energy that they expand it out, so where other people can tap that same energy. It's wonderful. Wonderful.
And sometimes you have a medium that may have a pad of paper and they scribble, like Tyler Henry, Alison Dubois. They scribble, and that's how they get their messages. Or they do psychometry. Somebody gives them an object of a loved one's that has passed, and they can read that because it has an impression on it, an imprint that they can read about that person that owned this object. So there's all kinds of ways of, don't be judgmental and think, well, you have to do a certain way. You don't have to do a certain way. As long as you're getting the message across, you're reaching a loved one for that person, and a beautiful message, that's what counts.
And goes back to the clairs. Everybody's clair is different. You may be somebody who senses a lot of smell. You may be somebody who hears it. You may see the energies. You may see the spirits, or you just may know it. It just may come to you, or you feel it. Taste it as well. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
But the seeing, when you were talking about the Bronco, I saw a father packing the back of the Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
everybody was handing the stuff to him because he had to pack the back of the Bronco. So I don't know if that was your dad, but they had to pack the back of the Bronco. Nobody was allowed to put anything in because he knew where everything goes and had to put it away properly. So that wasn't your father, was it, Don?
And everybody has that unique talent, that unique personality that comes through, you know?
Yeah.
If they're miserable in this lifetime, they're going to be a little miserable over there. Maybe a little better, but their personality comes through.
And Julie, that image may be from somebody. We ask if anybody out there, if that image fit what you've experienced in your lifetime, your father, or
pack it.
Let Julie know, because that you're probably picking up an energy that's coming in from somebody who's dying to get her message across. You know.
Okay. Yeah, and if you did, please let me know. That's why I was asking you if it was yours, because I know your dad, and you guys traveled to
Oh no, we did road trips all the time, long road trips all the time.
We talk about our book and everything, but to do mediumship takes a lot of focusing and a lot of concentration and a lot of that ability to connect with the other side. So if we're going to do some readings today, it's probably just going to be quick psychic readings, right?
Right.
Unless
something comes through.
She is so chomping at the bit to do readings today. I told you. I told everybody this. And I was going to keep going on the book, but she wants to read.
Well, we want to make it worth their while.
Yes.
You know,
So if
it's already worth their while. You tell us, Susan.
I was going to say.
So,
and I just want to let you know that Montel, Michael Ray Stockton, and Wendy, and Wendy were on my personal page. So they are here. If you guys want a reading, please. And okay, Psychic Squad, hold back a minute. Please let the others go first. And because we see each other Mondays and Tuesdays now.
And they all get free readings.
Yeah, they all. And Susan, you are glowing. Yes, she is definitely glowing.
yes.
I get to read. So put in your question now. We do not need your zodiac sign or anything like that. Or
and please don't put your birth date in there, folks. Do not
no
do that.
birth dates.
Don't do that.
And we're probably not going to be able to take a lot of time with these readings. They're going to be quick readings.
And it's only the two of them doing it, not me. I'm staying back.
We're going to take turns.
Julie, do you have the Angie video? Look at my face. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't think I do.
Oh, I have to send you that, because that would have been the perfect moment for that.
Yes, it would. But I do want to pull up one because of something happening today that is very important to one of the people here. And I want to make sure I get this on, and just in case others are watching that aren't coming on my live my personal. And this is for you.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
That was for Ed.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
We love
it.
Ed. We love Ed.
Yes, it's Wednesday. It's his birthday. So that means Don will not be going live this evening.
No. Either that or I have lots of explaining to do, Lucy. I have lots of explaining to do. So I don't want to do no explaining. And I do know my husband is Latino. So that's why I'm saying that, because he's Puerto Rican, and it's like the Cuban Puerto Rican thing, so don't be offended by what I'm doing.
No.
House.
But one more, because this is the one I have, and I love this one too, because when your mediumship abilities show themselves, you don't want this to happen to you. So pay attention.
So when I started on this healing journey about 2 years ago, my life was like really unmanageable, and I got shut. You know how the universe or God kind of like taps you on the shoulder, you don't listen, kind of gives you a little push, you don't listen, shoves you to your knees, you still don't listen. I got shoved on my ass. And so I needed to really change the way I was living.
Amen.
Valerie Bertinetti?
Yep. Very good.
I use that often in my shows too, because it is a message to you. Sometimes spirit is talking to you, and this is not mediumship. Okay, this is not necessarily mediumship we're talking about. Sometimes your spirit guides are talking to you and you don't listen, and they're like, we're warning you, go back, the edge is near, go back, the edge is near. And instead you're like, oh no, I'm going forward. You can still go forward. But she's saying sometimes when you don't listen and it's not good for you, they'll send you a little tap. They'll send you a nudge. They'll push you back a little bit. They'll smack you upside the head if they have to, or they'll let you fall on your butt. And that is what that can be sometimes a bit painful. But that's the lessons we sometimes have to learn, that sometimes, and that's the other thing that we didn't discuss. It's interesting with our spirit team. You don't have to agree all the time. Angie, well, Angie's always her team. Angie does not always want to, she's like, hey, I totally get what you're doing. I'll pay the consequences. I'm doing it my way, even though you've told me don't go down this road, and so forth. And actually that feeds into a little preview of another book that's coming down the road by Susan and I. We're writing a book about our spirit guides and angels and communicating directly with spirit guides and angels, not as a mediumship, but actually just directly how you can connect and communicate with them. And that is part of what that book is about, is understanding, hey, you can disagree with them. You can have a conversation and you can totally be okay with disagreeing, as long as you're accepting the responsibility to what comes along.
Because a lot of times you're driving along and you're getting the thought in your head, well, I need to go right and take this other street. And you don't normally do that. So you say, I'm not going to pay attention to that. And you go straight ahead and there's a big accident.
Yep.
But it's like those little words, those little whispers in our ear. Our angels are giving us advice or giving us prompts or ideas. And just have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
As far as like a reading, okay, Brandon did put it in. I was looking at I didn't see anybody doing that. Okay, so Brandon put in first, and the second one is Mr. Gupta. So Brandon 3T is the first one who wants a reading. Are you ready, Susan? Don?
Want me to do Brandon?
Sure. Do you want to read Brandon?
I was going to say that. Okay, Susan. Now, wait, that's a different service.
Okay, Brandon, you're on.
It's not medium. I mean, not madam. It's medium.
Let's see what she said something last night before you came on. That was, we won't repeat it.
Okay. Oh, Brandon, let's see. You're going to run into somebody from the past. Maybe there's somebody from the past you need to tie up some loose ends with or put closure with. Because it's something that's been bothering you about the past, and you've been thinking about this person, and maybe you need to just call them and say, hey, I would like to just, say hi, how you doing? I know maybe we didn't leave in a good note, but, I wish you the very best. But there's also some love coming into your life, and because of this past thing with this person that needs closure, they're saying you need to hurry up and do that and move on, because there's a lot of things coming into your life where you need to focus. And one of them is a feeling of love, or something that's going to bring love into your life, whether it's something you do or someone that comes in. So wrap up the past so you can move on and bring forward some wonderful, wonderful things that are about to happen in your life. So that's what I have to tell you. Thank you.
What else I'm picking up for Brandon is Brandon, there's a lot of anxiety around you right now, and I'm picking up it's part of it's financial, but part of it is employment. And so I don't know exactly what your timeline is, but I'm seeing what your timeline in your mind is already set for. But I'm seeing in the beginning of the year, you're looking for a new job, and this could even be a career change. When you change jobs, by the way, make sure that you're changing the way the role that you have. The role that you have is not fulfilling. It's not the employer. It's not the job. It's not working for a specific type of field. It's the role that you're filling now that's not fulfilling to you, and you feel like you're dead-ended, that you're not progressing forward. So you need to shift things up. You need to shift them and make sure that wherever you're headed to, whatever that next position is, whatever the next role is, that it is something that really does bring in the various aspects of where you want to be and where you want to go. Because again, I feel like you're limited, you're hitting brick walls right now, and I feel like you need to move forward. So this is the energy, that's the anxiety. With that, your anxiety will drop. Your anxiety definitely will drop. And this is going to happen early next year. You're going to see that new job, that new experience, okay?
And his grandfather's around him and tells him to move on. He needs to move on and forget about the past. And what matters is what's going on in your life now, Brandon, and what's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And next is Gupta. Spirit reading, if you don't mind.
That
I'm
must
not
be
sure
for
what he
Dawn.
means by that, but huh?
That must be for Dawn.
You too. You just had a
Okay,
grandfather make a message.
yeah, either we're gonna both do like the readings if
Yeah, go ahead.
have to add something.
Okay. Whoever wants to start.
Well, Gupta, you're overdoing it. You need to rest. Right now, the resting is imperative for your physical body, your mental health, your strength. And if you do it right now, you're going to see in 6 months, you're going to have abundance of energy. You're going to feel really good. And you're going to find that the universe is asking you to open your mind to some new ideas, new way of looking at life, and a new, when you look at things fresh with new ideas, all of a sudden you're going to feel a burden of all these things you've been struggling with being lifted. And I feel there's a man around you, and he feels like a very sensitive soul, and he's kind of needing your attention, or you need to consider him. But right now, get some rest. It's almost like you've worked so hard to have a nice secure foundation in your life, and now it's time to take care of you so you can really start enjoying your life and enjoying all the benefits of all the hard work you've done. And keep an open mind, and in 6 months you're about to see some big changes.
I'm actually going to do a mediumship read for Gupta because I'm picking up energy. This is an older woman, as I told you. I get cold, and so as soon as Gupta's name popped up, I started getting chilly and trying to figure this out. And then it got colder and colder, and right now I'm actually very cold. Gupta, if you could work with me on this one and respond as quickly as you can, please, because again, it takes time with the delay in the responses, and we don't want to put people to sleep. But Gupta, if you could tell me, I'm picking up a grandmother, great grandmother energy, and this seems to be on your mother's side. Does this resonate with you? Can you own that your grandmother or great grandmother on your mother's side has passed?
The question he had, living man or in spirit, that was for you, Susan.
The man that he needs to be aware of or give attention to. I feel like this man is living somebody that is requiring attention. I don't know if it's a son or something, or just somebody that needs maybe little attention, needs little care right now, and just be aware of this person.
And the yes is for you. I'm sorry. The yes is for you, Don.
Okay, Gupta, I'm picking up it's more of a grandmother and not a great grandmother. Would it be the grandmother? Say yes, grandmother, or no, great grandmother, if you could. Because again, I'm picking up grandmother energy to try to be more specific for you. And so I'm going to go further though. This woman shows me that she is short, and that she loves her bangles. She loves her bangles, and she told me very clearly they're bangles. They're not bracelets. They're bangles. They're very thin, and there are many of them. So she wore bangles, and she's showing me the bangles. She's also talking, and also she loved to get her nails done, but it seems like that she was very cognizant of her look. Grandmother. Okay, yes. She was very cognizant of when she left the house, she had to be put together. So this is a woman who had to have, she's like, when I leave the house, I am representing my family. This is how she comes across. Okay, so she made sure that she was done up, and the nails were important to her in that energy, in that way. Okay, and so yes, the bangles, yes, of course. And so she's and it's funny because she has a loving. She's not only loving and warm, but she's also very jolly. She was a very happy woman. So when you would visit with her, you didn't just feel loved. You felt lightened, okay, because I'm feeling this energy of lightenment, okay. She's like, and she gave good hugs. She was good at hugging. She loved to hug. She was a hugger. She was definitely a hugger, but she was a feeder because she loved to feed. She loved to feed people. So she was very proud of her cooking, but but hugging was her thing. Does this resonate? Again, yes, the nails, of course. Yeah, because she showed me. It's like she's like this. She's like very proud of her nails, and so and that's I guess why the yes, jolly, of course, yes. And so anyway, she came forward, okay, just to let you know that you are enough. You often, this is your message, okay? I gave you evidential. Now we're going on, so I'll be clear about how we're doing it so other people will know how it works. We're going to the message at this point because you are enough. She's like, don't question that you're not enough. There's times where you're just going through this, oh, I don't know. And, and nobody's going to whatever. And you're enough. You're more than enough. You are wonderful. You are lovely. Don't be somebody else. When you shine, people see that shine, they will love that shine. So she wants you to be authentic, be real, don't be somebody else, and more importantly, know you're loved and cherished. And when she's there with you, don't be surprised if you hear her bangles bangling, because that's why I don't know how you would say it, but they're jingling or whatever. Don't be surprised when you hear that she's there. That's how she lets you know she's there, because you hear that kind of jingle sound and you're like, oh, so know that. And then don't be surprised if you feel her hugs, because she gave you a specific kind of hug. The way she hugged is not like everybody else. She's telling me my hugs are different. She loved her hugs. So know that it's different. When you feel that energy of what that hug felt like, that's when she's there. She lets you know she's there, and she's there often. She's never too far away. If you need her, when you're worried, when you're stressed, she's there. Just open your mind and heart to it, and you'll know it, okay?
I feel it's a grandmother too, but is his ex-wife, is alive? No, Don's talking about your grandmother.
Yeah. And you're so right on with all of those, and is just, we know he's on fire with his mediumship, so I appreciate that. And waiting on the hug thing a little bit more as far as the
but the message is given, so if you want, we can continue. But thank you, Gupta, for sharing that energy. And I'm going to thank Grandma for coming through. She calls herself something different. I can't say what she calls herself, so there must be, I'm guessing there's a language barrier there in that sense, because she has a phrase that I can't use for grandmother, because it just is not my vocabulary. But she and that's how she called. You knew her as, it's this phrase that is different than what I know. But know that she's there, and know that you are, again, loved, honored, and be yourself. Just be yourself. Okay.
And Gupta is in India. So.
Oh, actually in India?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Wonderful. I want to go. I've never been, and I really want to go.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing with the energy with us. We do appreciate it.
Zach, are you still here? Because you were one of the first one who wanted a reading. Are you still here? Please let me know. I'm going to go on to the ones who answered my call. So we're going to keep going on that. This is Viggy Gowden. Okay. Or Gundan. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I hope I'm not killing it. And then I got both thank you, Don and Susan, from Brandon and from Gupta.
Yeah, thank you.
You are most welcome. Most welcome.
Okay, Viggy, is this Viggy? I feel like they're going through a very difficult time right now, dealing with some heartbreak and having you set some boundaries and taking care of yourself. However, I want you to be aware that when spring comes, you have a lot of creative gifts that are ready to be exposed, or ready to be used, or ready to be worked with. So right now, they're saying that there's some boundaries you need to set, and those are with two men, and you need to kind of keep them at bay right now, because you need some time to heal. You haven't quite got over some heartbreak, and this is going to take you a few months, but know that it's going to be a new life next year. New ideas are going to come to you, new creative skills, and that's what you need to be focusing on, you right now, and taking care of yourself. Okay, thank you.
Viggy, while that was coming through, I felt that energy. I just feel like you are in again, just a not so positive place. And when Susan was coming, it was like right here. Oh my gosh, I know it's just, I totally, yeah. This too will pass. This too will pass. Know that this too will pass. This is not everlasting. This is just a fleeting moment. Mark your time with other experiences and realize that there's periods where we have highs and periods of lows. Without the lows, we can't experience the highs. Without the highs, we can't experience the lows. And so know that this will pass.
I think you're right, Dawn. I feel like Vicky needs to spend time by themselves right now, find themselves, find out what you're going to do, because you have so many gifts that you need to explore and you need to develop, and, see this new year. It's about you and taking care of you.
Yeah, I'm also picking up, Vicky, for you, though, that this is making whatever you're going through, again, it's very heavy, but I'm getting again, heartburn energy, so it's like it's here. So you're actually physically feeling the impact of this. So you're not just dealing with it, but your body is feeling it. And you need to be careful. Be careful to not let this deplete your energy levels and deplete your minerals and things that you're going to exhaust yourself with. This is a time where you must most importantly pay attention to your health, because your psychological health is impacting your physical health at this point. And it is wearing on you to a point where you're going to be having some issues. And I'm getting heartburn already. I'm getting times you don't want to eat. You're not even wanting to eat. And you're just too consumed with the energy of the frustrations that you're going through and stuff. So don't avoid the food. You got to do the food. You got to keep eating. You got to keep the nourishment. You got to be eating properly, by the way. We're not doing binge snacking, because the binge snacking, because we're worried, is not healthy. Okay. You have to nourish the body. A nourished and healthy body will provide a nourished and healthy spirit. And if the body is not well enough, it cannot function completely. We have, when we're done with this, we'll be doing water, and throughout you'll see us drinking. We have to, because spirit energy zaps our liquids, and so we always have to maintain ourselves too. We totally understand how energies and worries and those things can take it from you. So if you don't understand already, you need to be cognizant of that. Be careful, my dear, please. Make sure that you are hydrating. Make sure that you are eating properly. And as your body is well, your spirit eventually will be there. This is a fleeting moment. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's imperative for these next 3 months to focus on you and just kind of chill, take care of yourself. And then in about 4 months, you'll be back to your old self and doing some creative stuff, and it'll be good.
Okay. I'm going to plug it again. Chapter 19 for self-care. Chapter 19.
Yeah. And it's so important to us that we gave an entire chapter to it, because when you're doing mediumship, it really does require additional care to you, because mediums give so much that we tend to forget sometimes this vessel has to be maintained.
Yeah. And this is chapter 13 that you want. That is affirmations and the body's healing response. Okay. Chapter 13.
That's my other book, by the way. If you're coming in late, the Ultimate Power Within is my first book about affirmations.
And this is both of their books.
Yeah, the newest book. Available on Amazon. Available on Amazon.
Right now.
Yep. Yes. Along with some others. Susan's book. Hint, hint, hint.
Yes. And I would put
Susan,
them up
where's
there.
your book? Show us.
So,
I gave you the clue there. Along with Susan's book.
yeah, and she has a lot of things in here. There's a lot of things to help you in all your ways. But I just know the ones about the body for the medium, the mediums, a guidebook, and the affirmation book, because I go to those. And when I saw self-care, it's like, oh, it was a nice.
It's so important. It's so important.
Chapter 2, yeah.
And
if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of everybody else. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting. So many mediumship books I read, they don't delve into that. I noticed that, and I was like, wait a minute, how can you not do that? Because you're taking care of everybody else. The whole book is about taking care of everybody else. Yeah, and you forget to mention how we need to take care of ourselves. Also, folks, if you go to Amazon and put in Susan Grayson's, type in her name, and the books will pop up. Or if you put my name, Donald Rumer, Rumer-Rivera, that's River with an A at the end. it'll show all of my books as well. And so you don't even have to go to know the title of the book. We'd love you to do it, but because it's easy, it's the mediums. We're going mediumship, so medium, the mediums. But if you don't remember that, try to remember Susan's name or my name, and by searching the names, you will find not only that book but the other books as well. And guess what? These are amazing Christmas gifts,
Yes.
amazing birthday gifts, and also just amazing reads for yourself. So.
Yeah.
Yes, I plugged again, Julie. I'm terrible at plugging.
Hey, no, I pulled these up because when you said self-care, it's like, duh. Okay.
Yeah,
And
Don't forget the little subscribe button.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I do want, next I've got a Judy Raw. If you're in, I don't know if we're going to take anybody else because there is at least 5 minutes we have to dedicate to something else. I know it's another book, but anyway, it's a totally different. Anyway, let's see. So if Judy is not here, we'll take Brittany Kemper.
Before we do, can I just drop one thing? And that is Mary. Mary, if you have a sister or mother who is named Mary, who is on the other side, she's coming through. Please let us know. But go on to Kemper while we wait. And if somebody has it, again, it's a sister or mother, not grandmothers, not uncles, not aunts, not cousins, sister or mother only. Mary coming through. Let us know. Continue with Kemper. Sorry.
Okay. Actually, Judy is here. She said yes, she's here. So Judy is here. What can you tell me about the negative energy that was done to me and how can I clear it? Well, one, don't accept it. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, that's the very first thing. Yeah.
Julie is right. Don't accept it. You know, you are a powerful being. You have all the help from the other side, your angels. You are a perfect being of light. Don't ever think that somebody's more powerful than you, than they can do these things to you. They can't. You can block them. You know, you put out the light and the love, and it will take care of that negative energy. So nobody can control you unless you let them. If you give them more power, that's a bad thing.
Absolutely.
You are more powerful than they are because this is your body, this is you, and don't let them do that to you. Don't let them even think it.
Yep. And then one way to do it is have that relationship. No matter if you're a medium or anybody in the metaphysical community, have that relationship with your spirit team. And that is the key to these things. When you have that relationship with your spirit team, they protect you. I have 8 protecting spirits that are around me all the time. I never feel empowered without them because they are there and they do that for me. They're like they're my antennas, but they're also my protectors, and they're wonderful, and they're on the other side and they watch over me in that sense. I will offer a suggestion. Go to Sonoran Mystic Tarot, the YouTube channel, which is my channel, and once you're there, type in meditation. And if you go there, I have 3 meditations. One meditation is for you to meet your spirit guides. A second meditation is to meet your gatekeeper. And the third one is to meet the loved ones who've crossed over. So if you don't have a medium in your town, or you don't have access to one, or you don't have the resources to make one connect with you, then go and do those meditations. They are guided meditations. They're a half hour each. It may take you 2 or 3 times to go through them for you to finally feel the full force of them, but they help you. But call out to your gatekeeper. We talked about the gatekeeper. Call your gatekeeper and say, no negative energies. Keep them away. And your gatekeeper will do this. They will shut that door completely and say, no, you ain't coming in. And it's like, and if they try to come in, it's the Angie thing again. Look at my face. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
And just realize your angels are with you all the time.
They are.
Invite them with you. Go in the car and, have them protect your car. Have them protect your house as you leave it.
Exactly.
They are with you always. And all you can do is acknowledge them. Don't ignore them.
And let me give you 2 other words of advice. Sage. Smudge your house. Smudge your house and the environment where you live specifically. Maybe after smudging is using sage, lighting it. And we talk about that in the book, by the way. And also in my first book, I talk about that. And in another book that I just wrote, I talk about that, because even though it's a fiction book, I talk about how I smake because I'm the character. Point is you smudge your house, and you smudge the house and get that energy gone. And also salt across the threshold of your door. make sure those energies are gone, and cinnamon, bringing the abundance in. Do these things that are very, very basic, but they do change the energy in your house, which
And you can
changes your energy.
that salt, and it can just be regular salt. Put
Right.
Yes.
salt
Oh,
on
yeah.
the perimeter of your property.
Yep.
And the sage, that whether it's white sage or whatever, it's a Native American way that they clear the energy. And light a candle now and then, and just see the candles spreading out this beautiful, pure energy.
And selenite. Have some selenite around.
Selenite.
Use everything.
Always.
Yep.
Back to the medium, the inexpensive mediums. Get a hold of one of the three of us, or all three. You can do an email to all three. For Mondays, we are practicing our mediumship. You'll get at least 4 reads right now.
So
4
if you
readings.
get sitter, you
Free.
can get free readings.
Yes.
So if
But
you want
get
to
a hold of
volunteer,
us.
reach out to Julie or one of us. Let us know that you're interested in being a practiced on sitter, because we're training mediums, and we always need people to read for. So reach out to one of us and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer to get read. And for an hour, you'll be read by 4 different groups of mediums.
On Mondays. Yeah.
On Mondays. So keep that in mind.
And I just want to tell you, this is Mountain Standard Time. It would be from 7 to 8. So whatever your time zone is, if that works for you, please get a hold of us.
Mm-hmm.
We all picked up our selenite.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to put that plug in because we need more sitters. So that's good. Oh, volunteer. You'll have to email us.
Email one of us at our email addresses, and they're down below our names. When Julie takes the thing off the thing, you'll see them under Susan, mine, and Julie's.
Okay. We already have the mediums for this session. We have the mediums that are practicing. We need you as a sitter. So,
but on Tuesday night, if you come, you can join that mediumship and psychic group. But we do both medium and psychic on Tuesday, and everybody comes.
This is our Tuesday night person.
Okay.
And she was asking. So you don't have to be a medium yet. You can do that on the other.
Yeah, you only have to be a medium if you want to be.
Yeah, you choose. But I wanted to plug that in. Also, this is the 3rd of December, and this is still the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month is energy is still here. So the rituals with the salt and the cinnamon are very important.
And the sage.
And I'm using leftover Morton salt. I haven't used that. I haven't eaten that in at least a decade, but I'm using it for keeping the negative energy out. So
and Palo Santo is a very good incense to burn too.
That brings in some positive energy. Absolutely. Love it.
Yep. And Pam says we can count on her. So we have your email, Pam. We're good.
Thank you, Pam.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. That was great. We have 12 minutes. Okay. So Brittany, are you here? You didn't reply on the last one. So Judy, we hope that helped you. I don't think she has replied. No, she hasn't. And yeah, and you're not applying to do it. All you have to do is email us and we'll send you the link.
Absolutely.
Somebody will send you a link to it. So that's good. And Pam, it's the same link for this month. It's the same link as Tuesday night. So you're good. You have that link. Just get a hold of it ahead of time so we know you're coming.
Yep.
All right. And
usually the people getting read come in the last hour of the event.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Brittany is here. So here we go. Last read of the day, because we have other things. If you feel anyone for me, I'd love a reading, please.
I just have this aunt on the other side that's just kind of yelling and having a good time, and she just wants to be recognized, and she's just asking that you too put more joy into your life, because she lived life to its fullest, and she's just kind of a neat person. Anyway, let me see if there's any quick reading I could do for you, Brittany. Oh wow, you got it's talking about some difficulty with some people, and this may be people you work with, it may be family members, but there's a lot of confrontation going on, there's a lot of drama, and you need to remove yourself from this, because it just really drags you down, it really sucks your energy. So and the rest of the cards are all money cards, so you have a lot of money coming your way, and you need to think about what you want to do with that money, and don't let all these people control you and tell you what to do, and how to spend your money and everything. This is your money, this is your investment, and I want you to do things your way. So is kind of step aside away from these people that are trying to influence you in every way possible, and think for yourself and do for yourself. Okay. Thank you, Brittany.
Brittany, I have two energies coming in, and I'm going to go with one who is strongest at this point first, and then maybe if we have time, I might explore the other one. But this one really came through as soon as you popped up, and so can you tell me? Can you confirm that there is a gentleman who he's not showing me exactly where he belongs in your chain, but he's in uniform. And so this is a gentleman who was very proud in uniform. And he's on the other side. He is a family member, and I'm trying to work with him to have him tell me where he fits, and I'll get that hopefully down the road. But again, his clarity is he was known because he was in the military. So that's his big thing. And so do you have a loved one on the other side who was in the military? And he's standing very tall, very proud of his service with the military. I'm getting it. I don't pick up Navy because again, the uniform looks very different. He's showing me more of an Army, Marines. I'm not really getting Air Force necessarily, because again,
they have a greenish brown uniform.
Yeah, they keep bringing me back to the Navy. I mean, Army Marines. Does this resonate with you? And if not, we can move on. It's all good. It's all good. But as soon as that, he came right in with you, and so I don't know if he was for you, but he is a strong military. He's very proud of his service, and he was known for that. People acknowledged him for that.
Yeah, we know there's delays. We understand that, but.
And again, folks, if I come through, please as quickly as you can. It would be great. So.
Oops, sorry. No, sir. That's what I've got.
Okay, so no military dude. Okay, well then.
How about the lively aunt on the other side? It's just
the aunt. Yeah, no, her and it's interesting. Well, yeah, I was picking her up too, and it's interesting. But wow, he's definitely here. I wonder if he's not if Brittany, then he's.
Is there anybody else?
Yeah, he's he's here.
It could be a uniform from a military uniform from another country. Yeah. Oh, see, Eva.
Grandfather's in the army. Ava, this was grandfather. So so this is on your father's side. Would this be the grandfather on your father's side? And is he a taller gentleman? Because again, his height is something that he was proud of. And when I say taller, let me be clear with this. Often, and this happens from time to time, you'll have family members who are shorter. They're all, but one is taller than the rest, and so he considers himself tall. You know what I'm saying? This man, but this is a gentleman who again is telling me he was taller. So I don't know if he was taller compared to his brothers or he was taller, period. But he is, again, I'm picking up a father's side. Does this resonate? And so is this the energy, Ava, that is connected to you? That's why mediumship can be a bit of a pain in gallery setting because of this. But it's. I feel
like the uniform is a heavy material. It's not a light material. It's like almost like a wool or something.
No, that's what it used to be in the.
Yeah.
Second World War. Heavy wool.
Yeah.
Now, is this Eva in Sweden?
Oops, sorry. 2 tall men, my father-in-law and my mom's father.
Your father's was Army. Okay, good. That I'm taking up the fathers. Again, your grandfather and your father's side. That's the energy I kept being drawn
Well,
to. With that.
Yeah, she's saying my father-in-law and my mom's father.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying mom. So most likely she's in a different country.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
Robin, if you're ever available on a Monday night, please let us know. Sorry, we're waiting.
So your father on your grandfather on your father's side was not in the military? Because I'm seriously, he keeps showing me that line, the line that it's the father's side.
Yes, it's Sweden, Ava.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like the uniform was like from Sweden,
Yeah.
not from here. It was a heavy wool uniform.
Yeah. Anyway, the energy I was picking again, he keeps coming back. He's like, no, I'm on the father's side. I'm on the father's side. He keeps coming. He's like hammering it to me. Like, I'm like, are you dense? You don't get it? I'm on the father's side.
My name's not Lisa.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this probably isn't for Ava then, because if it's not on her father's side, no, this is not your energy, because he's very clear about that, and he will not relent, and therefore this may
Yeah,
not.
I feel like this was like in Sweden. He's in the army. in
Well,
Sweden.
actually, but you're saying that, but Ava's saying no, it's not hers. So, shoot. Hold on a minute.
Sometimes we don't recall it right away. We get the psychic amnesia, and then a few weeks later we think, "Oh yeah." So my dad's father was Army.
So that's a different person. That's Joe, right?
Joe Megan. Yeah.
Yes, and Joe Megan was again. This gentleman was tall. He was very proud of his service, and he shows me in dress greens. Again, the energy. Julie and I mean Susan and I are picking up the heavy energy. It's a dress greens he's wearing, and I can see him standing at attention. So he's very proud of his service. And when he got out of the service was because he's showing me his hands now, and they are rough and calloused. So he worked with his hands. This is a gentleman who, after the service, and even in the service, he worked with his hands. But after the service, he worked with his hands, and he's very proud of a working man. That's what he want. He was comfortable with that. He was a man. This man was my dad's father was absolutely, but again, he was very proud of being a man who worked with his hands, and so he's showing me. He's also showing me the wedding ring. So he was he loved being a father, because when they do that, he was married. He loved the woman he was married to, but he loved being a dad, and so he was a good dad. And you may want to speak to your dad about that one and find out if that's confident. But I do believe what he's telling me. He felt he was a good dad. He provided for his family. Your father was not the only of the children. Your father had other children as well, right? Because he's showing me he had a family, not just the child. He had family. Can you confirm that he had additional children? Also, and he's showing me a rural setting. So I'm getting the energy that they were in a rural environment, not a city dweller. Can you confirm that as well? And when you confirm, say yes, blank, 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 and no, blank, blank. Don't just say yes or no, because I asked 10 trillion questions and I know I shouldn't as I'm working through this to get confirmation.
And we're getting both Joe and Megan and Ava, Joe, Megan, and Ava so far. They're both saying yes.
But Ava said her grandfather isn't on her father's side.
But yeah, I know. But then she comes up with this, and I'm not sure what this means exactly. Yes, my son's grandfather. So he is right. I don't know what you mean by your son's grandfather.
Did he have horses? Like some land with some horses on it?
Because your father-in-law is your son's grandfather, and it's not your father-in-law.
We're all throwing questions or what?
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to.
Well, the most important thing, Joe, is when he comes through, he's coming through his message to you, okay? His message to you that I'm receiving is, Joe, you have children, okay? You, Joe, have children. And he is inviting you to make sure this holiday season that you connect and spend more emotional time with them. You don't have to be in their physical presence, but he really does want you to focus on spending time emotionally communicating, reaching out, connecting with your children. He's saying, you know what, build that relationship, build those bonds, because family is everything. In his world, family was everything. And he wants to make sure that sometimes when we have tensions in a family, when we have issues in the family, they seem very big at the moment, but he's like, family is everything. So for the holiday season, he's asking you to reach out to your children, to have that emotional connection with them so they know they are loved, as he made sure his children knew he loved them. And he was a stern man, by the way. This man he made it very clear, I love my kids, but I was a stern man. So he did not spare the rod. He was one of those gentlemen who did not spare the rod, and he definitely didn't spoil his children, but his children served him well, and he's proud of his kids, and he's proud of you as well. So know that he loves family, and he wants you to embrace that concept and make sure that you are reaching out to yours this holiday season. Okay.
But I'm also saying some land with 2 workhorses on it. Who had the 2 workhorses?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand I think you're getting the same one, but Ava, it's not your mother's father. Okay. It's specifically father's father.
It's father. This was father's father. That's why I'm going. And Joe seemed to have all the other aspects that seem to make sense.
Yeah. So it's close, Ava, but not your grandfather at this time.
Yes. So
maybe next time you can partake everything you say. Well, I'm glad you can take it. Unfortunately, he cannot connect.
Well, and again, this is why platform and gallery mediumship is really so important, because sometimes the message comes through for one, but it can be for the other as well. So take that message as well. Use that message, because you were meant to be here to hear this. You may not be here all the time. So you were meant on this day at this moment to be here.
I still see these 2 workhorses. It's like when this man was out of the military, then he had some land.
And remember, whatever resonates with you, yes, grab a hold of it. It's for you. Yep. Definitely.
Well, I'm going to ask the spirit to step back, and I'm going to thank you guys for sharing your energies with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow. That's a great way to end it. However, it's not ending. And I didn't upload all the music. However, I did upload 2 things. Let me go back to, there's one other item we have to talk about today. And the reason why is at December 3rd, I know this is December 3rd, but when the time changed, or when it became December 3rd in the middle of the ocean,
Ocean.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Greenwich Mean Time. Thank you. Something else happened, and that is a new book. Mine is on its way. I will get mine
on its way too.
This is still a proof, because I don't even have a copy of my final book. But as you can see, this is the book, A Silence Too Loud.
Yes, it's a totally different genre for you, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, this is a fiction. It's a fiction book. It was interesting. I was sleeping comfortably, and as I told you, my gatekeeper allows some spirits in, and one of them is my dear friend who's crossed over, Libby. And Libby came through one night, and she's like, "Hey, you need to write a book. You need to break out. You need to write a fiction book." And she gave me and she gave me so much information. And the next day I set out to write. And it's interesting. I didn't understand why she came through that night. And Julie's like, "This is her birthday." I didn't realize. Julie did the research and found out, oh, it's her birthday. So she came through as a celebration of her birthday. And it's interesting because she helped me put this book together by just giving me information. And then I took that outline and that idea and blended it and merged, because we're in Arizona, so I connected it to a mining town in Arizona, and it connected to her energy. And eventually she became the spirit of the book. That was not her intention. She did not set out to make the book about her. That was when she gave me information, she was helping me to just expand beyond the nonfiction realm into the fiction realm. And so she's like, no, you need, but I'm like, an homage to her for her energy. I'm putting her as the spirit in the book. So this is a psychic medium murder mystery, and it takes place in Jerome, Arizona. And it spans out into Cottonwood and Sedona, which are two neighboring towns. And Sedona in Arizona is an amazingly metaphysical community. And so if you've ever been or experienced it, you'll understand why it's in the book. And so it's a situation where she was murdered. And then when she was murdered, I'm coming in to help her to figure out who murdered her, to bring justice to that individual, and to reunite her with the locket that you see on the cover, because once I reunite her with the locket, then she can then cross over in peace. And so this is the thing. And a silence too loud, because a silence too loud is how we as mediums hear it. You don't hear it, but we do. And it's silence to everybody else. But when we get the messages, it is loud as can be. And so that's why that title came to be. The working title was Whispers at the Grand Hotel, but I came up with I'm like, no, it's got to be something more powerful about the mediumship aspect of it, because psychic and mediumship happens in room 23, which come to find out was the year she died, which I didn't understand why she wanted me to be 23. And that was the super important thing. And so this book is fun. It is interesting. It is, I'm biased because I wrote it, but I'm telling you, I just, and I've had one other person read it, and she called me and she's like, I'm mad at you. And I'm like, what did I do? And she's like, I had all these plans for the day, and you gave me this book, and I told you I would read it in 4 days and get back with you. And she said, and I started reading, I couldn't put it down. I had to finish it all the way through. And she said, so I got nothing done. And so it's all your fault. And I'm like, I take that as a badge. Absolutely. So I enjoyed reading my own book when I reread it. And it's funny because when I got the chapter, when I first wrote the book and thought I had finished it, I got to chapter 8 and then started reading. I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I actually got rid of chapters 9 threw them out and put an entirely new ending on, and then had to go back in and modify the beginning of the book to the points where it pointed to the ending differently. And so it was a work in progress and evolutionary, but it's dedicated to Libby. And on the back, one of the back pages, you will see my dedication to Libby, which is wonderful. And this version doesn't have the actual final image, because I think this one is, because I modified it. This one is the one with actual Libby. So it's dedicated to Libby Groves. And I modified it to where you see an image of kind of her, because Libby is a dear friend and a wonderful energetic spirit. And she was practicing the mediumship and those kind of things. And she was such a loving energy. And this is her memorial. This is her memorial, and she will never be forgotten now. She is in stone. So.
Yep. And if you saw the cover of this book, the one that I put up, that has her wavy hair.
Yes.
It was very curly, but that's the best he could do.
Yeah, because if I truly did Libby's curly hair, because she had big voluminous curls, and they were natural curls. They were just curls. And she had this red hair. But when I did that, it looked like Sasquatch, the outline. So it did not work. I had to kind of find a happy medium. Available on Amazon as we speak. Again, please check it out. I would truly appreciate it. And and it's only $13.99. It's not extremely expensive. I kept it inexpensive so people could afford it. This is an amazing gift, by the way, for holidays. Wonderful gift. You don't have, and it's not about psychic. It's not all about psychic medium. That's not the point. This is a murder mystery that just happens to be the guy who's solving it is a psychic medium, and connects to the spirit to help him do that. And so that's good. And my dear friend Angie, who I do Wednesday nights with, she's in the book because she helps me go along and solve the mystery. And then Miss Susan over there is also in the book because she's the one who ultimately has the one piece of the puzzle. So I have to go to Sedona to visit Susan to get the piece of the puzzle to finally solve the mystery and bring closure. So I brought my friends in with me. We are not alone. And I just, and this is not going to be the only one, by the way. This is the first book in the series because I'm inspired to do more.
And Sherry Burris says that I will have to pick it up, Don, and tell my paranormal team and other teams about it. Maybe have to try and get an investigation set up in room 23. Well, our community is planning on
Yes.
going up there. So
Yes.
Sherry, love to coordinate that with you.
And that building, the Jerome Grand Hotel, is one of the most metaphysically active buildings, paranormal activity buildings in the entire state of Arizona. It is known for that. That is its key, is that it was a hospital at one point and has lots of energy. And we actually talked to a lady last night who went there, and she felt very uncomfortable. She had to leave.
Yeah, and she stays at a place next door. I guess it's a doctor's house.
Surgeon's house.
Surgeon's house. Okay.
Yeah. But she went into the hotel and she was like, not comfortable. So there's activity there.
Yeah. And I have been to Bisbee. I don't get the feelings in the big Queen house, whatever. I mean, Queen Hotel.
Yeah.
I don't get it there, but they do have a bed and breakfast that was a very large house. It was more of a where you rent rooms. It's like an apartment, but not exactly. I think it was more of the company, the higher ups who didn't have homes stayed at, and a lot of things happened in there. I had to go through each. This was before I did this stuff, guys. I went through each room before I found the right room that I could handle sleeping in. One room, he didn't tell me what had happened in there. I walked in, I turned around and walked out, and I looked at him and I said, "What happened in there?" Murder, suicide. Three passings. So yeah, that was not the room for me.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the Grand, and if it was a hospital, I can only imagine what kind of things we can find there.
And Julie, do you have the commercial?
I don't think I have the commercial for that, unfortunately.
I think if you set it to where I can share, I can bring it up here and play.
I don't. This isn't Zoom, dude.
No, it does share. No, it does share. It does.
Show me. Where do I need to go?
Down. No, I can share. If I share screen.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I click on share screen. Let me find the commercial real quick, so y'all can see it. It's the teaser.
Yes, I love the commercial. And hi, KK. A lot of people in here, like I said, Sherry Burris. A lot of people were popping in later. Robin Klink is in. Love to see Robin. And yes, our classes are on Tuesday, but Monday we would love to practice our mediumship with you as a sitter, Robin.
Okay, here we go, Julie. Let me try this, okay?
It works. Tell me it works.
Go back here, click on this, and then go to Windows. Here we go. Let me know. And share audio. Yes, share audio. Okay.
Wow, we've got a fourth. Okay, let me see if this works. Hold on.
Oh, it's not letting me start it though.
Hold on.
Okay.
If I can get you guys out of the way. Whoops, wrong one. Oh, go back to my fourth. Okay.
No luck?
Can you push play? I'm trying to push play. It's not working.
The thing, oh, here it goes. Maybe this will work. Yeah.
In the abandoned halls of the Jerome Grand Hotel, something never stopped whispering. Libby Groves had a secret, one worth killing for. Buried in an old gold locket lies evidence that could expose a deadly truth. And now, one medium is about to uncover what the living tried to hide and what the dead refuse to forget. Every spirit has a story, but some won't rest until justice is served. A mystery woven in shadows, lies, and the voice of a woman gone too soon. A silence too loud. Probe it. Available now.
Wow. Let me get.
So that's it.
Cool.
Just wanted to share that.
I hope you guys liked that. That was so cool that we could do that. I love that. I would love to be a sitter. Okay, Sherry would love to be a sitter for Medium. Sherry Burris, we have her email as
Oh,
well.
super.
Okay. And Robin. And who was the other one?
Pam.
Pam, yes.
Yeah, Pam Shore.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Well, super, folks. I appreciate again, it was a labor of love and it was great. So it's a different, very different voice in that book because, again, it's fiction. So I had to find different ways of speaking. And it takes nothing away from my book with Susan because our book is definitely a labor of love as well, but in a different way because we want to help you understand what mediumship is. And again, the book in English and in Spanish. So there's no limitation in language, which is great. And it's available on Amazon as we speak. And again, if you search under the book's names, you'll find it. Or if you search under Susan Grayson's name, you'll find it there. And then if you search under my name, you'll find the books there as well. And you'll find our other books because Susan has another book as well. And then I have a few books. I have one for my grandson. You'll see that there. It's a funny little, and I'll plug it real quick too. Sorry, let me do that. Sorry. There it is. It's Princely and Alphabet Zoo. Got to do that.
English or Spanish.
English and Spanish, and it's the animals and their things, and then in the Spanish version as well, because we are a bilingual family, so we have all the animals in Spanish as well. So anyway, also available on Amazon.
Thank you guys for coming in, everyone.
I will be doing reading Saturday on Facebook and YouTube at
Right.
10 o'clock Phoenix time.
And for those of you who want a mediumship class in the Phoenix area, tomorrow at 7 p.m., right? At Rising Phoenix Church, Spiritual Church,
If you're interested in taking the class, yeah.
1522 West Encanto Boulevard, Phoenix.
From 7 to 9 p.m. Thursday evening, yeah.
And Susan will be the teacher. Let's make it clear. Yes?
Yes.
So you get to actually be taught by the medium.
Yep. Okay. And then again, Saturday, I will be returning on Friday with Scott. Bonnie and Sarah will be Friday evening, which live Friday night happy hour. And that's 5 to 7 Mountain Standard Time. I think it's still that way. And what was the other question? Yes. Oh, yes.
Bonnie and Jess.
On the 14th of January, Susan will be back. So if you want another reading, she will be reading on the 3rd of January as well. But on the 14th of January, she'll be back. I'm going to interview her, and then she'll be doing readings for an hour. And I'm going to step back and let her just fly with them because she'll get at least 50 done in an hour. I know.
Yeah, she's very efficient.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us, Julie.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it very much. We do.
Thank you guys. Great. Yes. Okay. Hang in there, guys. We'll talk to you later. Thank you again. Thank you guys so very much for being here.
Thank you.
And if I can get to the right ones, I will be there. Any more books?
I don't have my Molten Power Within book. I did not at handy. That's the only one I didn't have ready.
Okay.
And the other one. Dawn's other
there
one.
It is. There you go.